it has probably been 2 months more since the last time I filmed. I really feel awkward and out of practice. But you know what? I love doing it, so I'm gonna just try, okay? Just bear with me. Hey guys, it's Jessie. And I'm back, I think. It has been a while since I've sat down and filmed anything. It has been months since I put anything out on my channel, and I just wanted to kind of come on and talk to you guys about it and why. I know I put out a similar video not too long ago. Probably one of the last videos I put out was like another update, like a life update on why I haven't been consistently creating. And this is kind of a rehash of that because even more things happened after I put out that video, and filming just fell by the wayside. It was the one thing that just time-wise had to go out of my schedule for a little while. And I missed it. I missed it so much. Like, I love filming these videos. I have so much fun with it. And if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just stop doing it. But it is fun. I enjoy it. It's something I like. And I'm excited to actually get back to filming, get back into a routine, and start creating like more consistent content. But before I can jump into like all the videos that I have planned, because even during the time I was not filming, I kept like a running list of things I planned to film. I just never got to film them. And I will be filming those because I already have a list of them and I'm gonna knock them all off my list. But I feel like before I can jump into like those kinds of videos, I really owed it to y'all to do kind of another life update, which, you know, you may care, you may not, but this is where we're at right now. So we're gonna give you kind of like an update on where I've been, why I've been gone. We'll talk about some of the things that I have read during the time that I've been away, which honestly isn't much. Let's be honest. Reading also fell by the wayside. So that's just life for you, and we're gonna talk about it. So first and foremost, work took over my life for a little while. I do have a full-time job where I work in marketing, and the end of the year is insanely busy. It is wild, y'all. I don't know if any of y'all work in marketing, but the end of the year is just busy. And I work for a startup, so we all kind of wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things. So I had a lot on my plate. We were working on multiple different projects that we wanted to have released by the end of the year, beginning of the year. There was so much 2023 planning and just making sure everything was ready to go into the new year. So I just didn't have time to focus on like my YouTube channel because I was working on, you know, my day job, which pays my bills. So had to do that. I love my job. It's fantastic and fun, and I love working in marketing, and I have a great team. But it did just get kind of busy, so things got away from me, and that's one of the big reasons that I haven't been filming is I spend a lot of my day in front of a computer working on social media, working on YouTube, TikTok, like all of our different platforms, working with influencers and creating content and blog posts, and I just didn't feel like doing that as my fun creative thing when it's what I was doing for my day job. But things have kind of slowed down. They've not really slowed down, but they've kind of come to a more steady pace where I can handle it better. So I will be back to regular filming, even though I am still, you know, working my day job, which I absolutely love. I had mentioned in my last video that in November, I did have a trip that I went on, which was so much fun. It was actually with work. My job, since we are fully remote, will do like 2 to 3, I believe, what they call on-sites every single year, where basically they fly everybody to a location, put us all in an Airbnb, and we kind of work collaboratively together, meet each other, and go out and do fun things. And that was a blast. I got to meet everybody for the first time. I have a fantastic team. Like, I knew that before, and then meeting them in person just solidified it. Like, I really enjoyed everybody. At first it felt a little awkward because it was like, in my head, all I could think of is like the real world. All these strangers picked to live in a house. And I'm like, oh Lord, like what am I getting into? I'm going to this like place by myself to stay in a house with a bunch of strangers. But it ended up being the best time, and I'm already excited for finding out where our next one's going to be and when it's going to be, because it was just a good time. And I think as a fully remote employee, it really helps to have those, to get to know people on a more personal level, because you are still working with them even though you're all like living across the entire country, the entire world. We have international employees, so it was really a good time and I'm excited. But again, that took time. And it took time away from my reading and time away from my filming. So there's got to be some give and take in there, right? So when I got back, I fully planned on getting back into filming. I was ready. I was reading. I was going to get back into filming. And then just like the Christmas season and holidays, and I have 2 small kids and a bunch of stuff going on. And it got crazy. Once again, it just got busy. And not only that, we had another trip planned, which we went on at the very beginning of December. So we ended up going to Indianapolis. We went to the performance racing industry trade show that my husband and I go to every single year. I love it. I love Indianapolis. Such a cool city. We stay like right downtown in the heart of Indy, and it's just such a cool experience, right? While we were up there, of course, I went and saw Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I try to go see him every year and had a blast, had dinner with him and his wife and his kids, and just the best time. Just the nicest person, both on and off of YouTube. Just a nice human. So that was a whole lot of fun. But while we were up there, we had an incident. And I'm going to try to get through this without getting emotional for you guys, because it's been about a month now. While we were up there, I leave my dog with my dad. My dad and my stepmom keep my dog so I don't have to board her while we go on this trip every year. She was almost 14. She'd be 14 in January, actually, right around now. And I mean, as some of you have seen, I've showed my dog before. Lily she is just everything. I got her when I was 18. And when she was 2, she lost her leg. And recently she had started developing a back problem, hip problems, arthritis. And we noticed it was kind of going downhill. It was starting to get more and more difficult for her to get up and walk and move because of all of the hip and back problems, which were exacerbated by the fact that she was a tripod. She had, the 3 legs. So, we put her on medication. She was on anti-inflammatories and she was doing better. Like she was walking, she was old. So we had to help her up, and she was eating and she was drinking. And then a couple days before we left for Indianapolis, I noticed that she was itching. Well, she's always had super sensitive skin, right? And she was also having potty problems. We'll keep it that way. So she was itching, so we did the cone. I did, a medicated bath like we always do. I did spray, and I had planned on, if it started to seem like the skin was getting better. And I had planned on calling my vet when we got back to see if there was anything that we could do, because I had talked to them previously and a lot of the things that were going on sounded like side effects from the anti-inflammatory that she was on. Constipation, itchy, kind of tired. They said that those were all side effects of this medication she was on. So we decided with our vet to kind of wean her off of that medication because it was having those negative side effects. Yes, it allowed her to walk better, but it was also making other things worse. And I feel like it was easier for us and better on her to not be in, pain and itchy and just be like, hey, it's a little difficult to walk. So we had to help her. That was fine. She seemed okay. We dropped her off at my dad's. That was on a Wednesday night because we flew out on Thursday morning. Dropped her off and, told everybody, bye, love you. I explained to my dad the situation about her coming off the medication. She's having trouble going to the bathroom, but she's still eating and drinking. You know, she's still, you know, been fine other than, you know, she's old. Well, we get to Indianapolis and of course, you know, your phone's on the airplane mode. I talked to my dad and he said she was getting worse. She was struggling. It was getting worse within 24 hours. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that she would decline that quickly, right? So I was kind of frustrated at this point. I'm like, he's just not used to taking care of an aging senior dog, like, because she was fine when I dropped her off. So that was on Thursday. I did end up calling my vet, and they got her an appointment because Dad insisted on it. And I was like, I think it'll be for the best to get an appointment. Got her an appointment, and my dad and stepmom took her into the vet that Friday. So, mind you, we are still in Indianapolis. And, you know, I gave the vet instructions to call me, to charge my card, all of that. And we're up there, and, you know, I'm worried because she is older. And the vet calls me with the news that nobody wants to get, especially while they're out of town. She had declined very quickly. At this point, she was in liver failure and we had no idea. And things like that just, they happen so quickly. So I had to make that tough decision while we were out of town. I asked my vet, I was like, is there a humane way to keep her out of pain, to keep her with us until Monday when we return? Because at this point, like, we couldn't leave. Like, we had flights, like, we had, you know, it was a work trip. And even if we would have gotten on a plane right then and there, we probably wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't have gotten us home in time. But the vet told me, no, it's not, I wasn't getting emotional. It's not humanely possible to keep her alive until you get home. It's bad. And, you know, he told me everything, and the skin issue apparently and the bathroom issue was actually caused by the liver and not the medication like we had originally thought. So in my Airbnb in the middle of December in Indianapolis, you know, thousands of miles away from home, I had to call my dad. I had to tell my dad and stepmom what they had to do. And of course they're devastated. Like, I was still living at home when I got this dog. So like, she was their baby too. And they also have a 14-year-old dog that was raised with my dog. So it was, you know, they're super close. So it was really hard. It was hard on them. They went and they were there with her because I couldn't be. They did take their dog, Sadie, and, you know, they let Sadie and Lily say goodbye, which apparently was heartbreaking and adorable at the same time. And at least somebody that she knew and loved was there with her the whole time. And I couldn't help but feeling that, like, insane amount of guilt, right? Just, I wasn't there. I was there her whole life and I wasn't there. But there was nothing I could do, right? So when I got back, I was able to pick up her ashes. We had to tell my kids. So that was almost harder than anything, telling my kids. My son's a little younger, he's 6. So he got it, but he was more accepting. He was more, I don't know if he fully grasped it, but he was less emotional, I guess. My daughter, she's about to be 10. She took it so hard. The dog's been around the whole time she's been alive. I've had that dog longer than I've had kids. And yes, that was really difficult. So of course I scheduled her a counseling session. You know, my daughter goes to therapy for her like stress and anxiety. And, you know, we got the ashes. I do have them. And that's kind of where we are right now. I actually have a friend who makes jewelry who's going to make my daughter and I custom rings with some of the ashes. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever lost a pet, you know it's like losing a family member. It is losing your best friend. It is difficult. And I know some people are like, oh my God, it's just the dog. Like, why are you being so emotional? Like, obviously, it's still sad. Like, I work from home, so I'm here by myself, you know, most of the day while the kids are in school and my husband's at the shop. And it's so quiet in the house now, right? It is. I don't have anyone to let out to go to the bathroom or, you know, run around the yard for a little bit, or I don't have that constant companion here all the time. And it's an adjustment and it's still difficult. We're still grieving. We have not decided to bring another dog into the house yet. I don't think we're ready. Whereas I know myself, I have no self-control, and I would go to the pound and bring home every puppy right now. I would just take them all. My husband has to be the voice of reason and be like, no, we're not ready. We're still sad. We're still grieving. We still need to fix our fence. And it's just not the right time. And I know that. And at some point it will be the right time. At some point we will welcome another dog into our house, into our hearts. And when we do, we will be ready. And I mean, that's just part of owning a pet. You go into it knowing that they're a lifelong commitment, but it's their life, not yours, because of the life expectancy of a pet, a dog, whatever. They don't live as long as people, as much as we wish they did, right? So it's sad, and you kind of go into it knowing that, and even knowing she's 14 and she has health issues and this and that, like, it didn't make it any easier. Like, I still struggle with the guilt of being out of town and not being there, but it's getting better with time, and I don't cry every day, so that's good. As you can see, I am right now, but you know, I'm an emotional person. I cry easily. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, that's just how I am. So yeah, that has also been a big part of not filming, because I'm like, I'm here. I don't want to. I don't have the desire to sit down in front of a camera when all I can think about is how sad I am. So that is finally getting better and improving. So I want to get back to filming. Like, she was my constant buddy. Like, she used to sit right like under my tripod when I filmed. So kind of made it hard to like turn on the camera without her sitting there and without having to yell at her to like stop wagging her tail because she's gonna knock my tripod over. She was a big dog. She was American Bully and Staffordshire Terrier mix. She was actually the runt. She was only 80 pounds. Only. One of the boys from her litter that my other friend had was 120 pounds. So that kind of goes to show you she was the small one. But yeah, we're getting through that. That's enough of the sad update, right? That's enough of that. We also have been doing home renovations. I kind of told my husband, we either work on the renovations or I'm gonna go get a depression puppy. So it's your choice. So we've been working on house renovations, painting and remodeling and redecorating. And if y'all have ever done a house, you know it's a lot of work. So we've been doing that on the weekends. So obviously filming has fallen by the wayside, but we're changing that. And we're changing that today because I am sitting down and film. Now on to books. I didn't read much during my time. I did read a couple things. I read Heart of the Sun Warrior, which is the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I gave it 4 stars. I'm not going to give you like a full review, but it was good. It was fun. It was a great sequel and wrap up to that duology. I tried reading this book called The Auction that I got on NetGalley, and I had to DNF it. It's just not, it was like very Handmaid's Tale, but Handmaid's Tale is so much better done. And it's weird. It's like if a woman gets pregnant, like she has to keep the baby, but all the babies go in this auction and like rich people can buy the healthy babies, and it's like you have to go with a baby and leave with a baby, but not necessarily your baby. It's weird. And I don't think it knew what it wanted to do. I don't think it knew if it wanted to be like weird capitalist commentary on the benefits of capitalism or like feminist women's rights. It was weird. And I didn't finish it, but I don't recommend it. Other than that, I didn't really read much. I tried picking up a bunch of stuff. My Illumicrate books that I was like, I'm gonna read these. I tried reading Belladonna, couldn't get into it. I tried reading Only a Monster, couldn't get into it. I tried reading In the Ravenous Dark, couldn't get into it. I'm not full DNFing all of those. I think I'm gonna try to come back to them because I think it was just my headspace. But yeah, I couldn't. The past 2 weeks, I've been able to read and finish 2 books that I absolutely enjoyed though. So I think I'm back. I think I'm getting back. So yay, I'm very excited. And I did have some questions for you guys. I have videos that I filmed in October that I never edited and put out. Would you want me to still put those out? Like one of them is like a big Illumicrate Fairy Loot unboxing. So like it's kind of irrelevant. I think one of them might be a book haul, which now I have another book haul because obviously like Christmas time and stuff. So like, do y'all want those videos that I filmed and never released? Because I will. Like I filmed them. I've got them. I'll release them. Do something like, you know, from October. But yeah, if you want me to release those, I will. But I'm really excited to get back to filming and to get back to feeling like I am creating content and talking to you guys because I absolutely love it. And hopefully I didn't just screw up my whole channel algorithm by not posting for forever because we know how that goes. But you know what, honestly, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna do it. So thank you guys for sticking with me and listening to my update and being there for me. I know a lot of you reached out to me on Instagram and, you know, Voxer and, you know, offered condolences when you found out that, you know, Lily had passed. So I that means the world. And I built such a community of friends here. Like I said, I went and saw Andrew, like people that I consider friends. Y'all mean a lot to me. So thank you. And I'm back. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.